Good day, everyone. Today's video, I wanted to show you the race that I had at Martin, Michigan. Some of the video you're going to see, John Cope has already put out on his channel. They are the videos that my daughter took. What I wanted to do was to explain it a little bit more if I could. Hopefully I won't bore you with that, but that particular race meant a lot to me, and I kind of wanted to share that with you all. It started out, I want to go back just a little bit. 2018 was the very first time I ever drove this here race truck. It was owned by a man named Bruce Lampton. He had partnership in another race truck as well with another gentleman, and we kind of all raced together. That gentleman's name was Randy Conway. He runs a little Ranger, which you'll see me run in the finals of this particular race. 2019 was my first full year racing it. 2020, when COVID come out, he had gotten very sick, and we sort of elected to take that year off and didn't race. And we lost him in early of 21. And that year I raced it for his wife, and I had a good time with it and really enjoyed it. And then tail end of that year, she decided she wanted to sell it. So I went ahead and, let's see, I guess it would have been spring of 22. I would have actually purchased the truck. It took all I could do that. I'm not a rich man by no means, but it was something I really wanted to do. I'm so glad that I did because I enjoy the truck so much. So from that point on, I told myself that I needed to do better. I pretty much went out first round every race that I went to, and I really struggled a lot with the truck. The biggest thing was I couldn't get it to leave the line. You know, it is a supercharged truck, and I should have been in boost, and it was making no boost. And every time I go to leave the line, you hit that gas pedal, and she'd just fall on her face, and then it would, the boost would come up, and then it'd finally take off. And that's not how superchargers are supposed to work. So I always knew that I needed something else. And in 23, I had pretty much made up my mind. By the end of 22, I'd made up my mind that I wanted a trans brake. And I started collecting parts. I picked up a Turbo 400 with a trans brake in it. And I started making the list of everything I was going to need. And the cost was astronomical. To put a Turbo 400 in a Ford is considerable, large amount of money. But anyway, besides that, so coming into 23, I had it in my mind that I was going to get me a trans brake. One way or the other, I'm going to figure out how to get this done. And I Googled, of course, trans brakes for the 4R100 transmission, and everything that was out there. And yes, there was a trans brake made for this transmission prior to the one that John Cope made, but it was electronic, and none of the electronic trans brakes worked. There were more than one, but none of them actually worked. And so to the argument of, do I have the world's first trans brake or not? The answer is I have the world's first reverse manual hydraulic trans brake. The only thing electronic in here would be the lockup and the actual application of the trans brake. So the shifting and all that is 100% manual, and on the normal 4R100, it's all automatic. So, or electronic, I should say. And though that's nice, it didn't allow me to have the trans brake. So continuing the search to find something, I came across John Cope in CRT Transmission as he was putting out on YouTube the development of, or the idea actually, of doing this trans brake valve body for the 4R100, the E4OD, and the 4R100. So I was intrigued, and I kept watching, and I constantly on YouTube looking for the updates and see where it's at and where it's going. And at some point, he had tested it in one of his trucks, and it seemed to work pretty good. And he was looking for a race truck, I believe preferably one that was a little bit faster than mine, but he was looking for one to test it in. And I believe he put it out there probably 2 months, maybe 3 months before I called, and he didn't have any offers. And so that's how him and I got together on this. I had called him, and I had agreed to drop the truck off and let him use it for R&D, and that's how our relationship grew. So getting past that, what the TransBrake did for me is crazy different. I mean, the very first race that I had in 2024 was with the TransBrake was Rockingham in April of 24. And Andy Wood from Unity Motorsports Garage came out and videotaped some passes there. And if you watch that, go to his channel and watch that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it woke the truck up. And I had such a learning curve. I mean, I had horrible lights. It was spinning. This truck never spun a tire once the whole time I raced it. And I always had bad lights, 150 lights, because I could never get this thing to leave the line. And all of a sudden, I mean, bam, we're coming off the line like a rocket, you know. And so I had a lot to learn. So I did pretty good there. I took out a heavy hitter first round, come back second round, and I lost, but not by much. I don't remember exactly. I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but I went 2 rounds, and that was the first time in a long time I'd made it into the second round. So I was pretty happy about that. And fast forward, the next race was down to St. Louis, Missouri, at the Run for the Rings, they called it, which was our, in the NMRA, which is no longer, of course. That was our Super Bowl of drag racing. Anyway, so I get down there, and I qualified pretty decent, I believe 3rd or 4th, and that's based on reaction time. I was pretty dead on there at that race. I think my worst light was an 033. I had a 008. I had a 0015. I had 33, 32, all good lights. And I took that race to the finals. I lost in the finals. I slowed down when I shouldn't have. I thought I was going too fast, and again, this is a whole new word for me. It's everything I have to learn. As Clay Millican would say, the butometer wasn't. I didn't know it yet. I'm still learning that. But anyway, I finished second in that race, and I was way overexcited. You know, I'd never gone that far in a race in this truck, and it was pretty awesome. Moving forward from there, we went to Norwalk, Ohio, and I was pretty excited because, you know, I just coming off of the second place. I was pumped up, and I was ready to go, and went ahead and qualified, I think 5th there, and went up for first round elimination. I don't remember who I had. I would have to go back and look. And anyway, I took first round real easy. Oh, I know, it was it was another Ford Ranger is what it was. Um, and they they had problems. They were so far behind. I just let up and coasted through, and won that round. Come up second round, I was pumped up, ready to go, and I had the points leader and the defending championship at that particular race. Um, and bang, I had a 003 red light. I went, oh, come on. So, which was, to be honest with you, it was exciting for me to just be that close to zero. It was really exciting. And so, yeah, so I was out. I actually finished fifth, I think, is why I ended up finishing that race. still, I'm still a little sick yet. Pardon me for that. But so from there, we go to Martin, Michigan, and here now, this particular race, all three of my children, and I have a boatload of grandchildren, but they weren't all there. I think I had 5 or 6 of the 16 grandchildren that I have. They were all there to watch Grandpa race. And it was very exciting for me to do that. And on top of that, my former teammate Randy Conway, uh, who I consider him my mentor. He taught me a lot over time in racing. And in fact, I've often told him that I credit him with my attitude change, because the year previous at Norwalk, he told me something that stuck with me a long time. And that was, you're not winning because you don't think you can. And I thought about that all year, and I came into 24 with the attitude that I can win and will. And anyway, going through that, coming up to the first round, which was on Saturday night, I qualified, I think, fourth. I believe it was fourth. And coming into the first round eliminations, I once again the defending champion, so I got a rematch of the Norwalk race, and I took him down easy. I don't know if he had a problem or what, but I pulled out and managed to clip him right at the end there. So I was pretty excited. I put him on the trailer. So at the end of that night, I went over and talked to Randy. And I was looking at the ladder and how things were going to work out, and Randy was on the other side of the ladder. So I told him, I said, son, I said, tomorrow it's you and me. We're going to the finals together. And I was excited and determined to make that happen. Uh, I've always wanted to race Randy in the finals. I've never had that opportunity, and it came. So Sunday morning, first off, then I had the current points leader for 2024, and was able to take him out, which afforded me a bye to the finals. So when I show you the videos, I'll just show all 4 in a row. But the last one, again, was me against Randy Conway. And it was probably my best race ever in all the years I've been racing. We both went, uh, we both broke out. He just did a little better job than I did. So Randy took the crown. I come in second. Uh, Again, it was the best race I've ever had. And what made it so exciting was, again, I went to the finals with my mentor. All 3 of my children and spouses and several of my grandchildren were there to root me on. It was a very, very, very special race to me. Unfortunately, the next race, which in all that put me actually 3rd place in the point standings, 20 points behind 2nd place, and I think it was 220 behind 1st place. And there, every race, if you make it to the finals, there's roughly 500 plus points available. So I was going into the final race at Bowling Green, the end of September there, with every intention on winning the championship, and it was doable. It was a long shot, but it was doable. And unfortunately, that was the Hurricane Helene weekend, and that storm parked right over the top of the drag strip, and we had 4 solid days of monsoons, and they finally called the race on Sunday, and points stayed as they were. So I finished third in overall in the points. Never been that high ever. Never had that many top 5 finishes. So 24 was a spectacular year. And I do accredit 80% of my success to the 4R100 trans brake. Something that John Cope put together, and it is an amazing piece of equipment. It is there now at his shop getting a check over to see how it did through the year. And when it's done, he's going to give me a call, and I'll go down there, and we're talking about doing a live, and we're going to talk about the trans and talk about me and whatnot. But I don't think you'll find anything wrong. Again, when I pulled it, checked the fluids like brand new, like there's nothing in it. Super bright pink, super clean, nothing in the bottom of the pan. I don't believe he'll find anything with it. So the report card should be pretty good. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to this year. Although NMRA is no longer, I'll be searching out different races. I do have quite a few planned. I'm looking at going to Rockingham in April at the Sick at the Rock. And then in May, there is I forgot what it's called now, Smoke Fest or something, at Martin, Michigan. It's the second week of May. I'm going to race that. And then the fourth week of May is going to be at the Sick Week at the Green, or Sick on the Green, they call it, which Tom Bailey's putting those 2 races on. He's looking at doing some type of a series to replace the NMRA. But at NMRA, we had a ton of classes that we're not going to have. I always raced what's called Truck and Lightning or Truck and SUV. So it was basically all trucks, and he isn't offering that. So I'll probably be racing in the Open Comp series, which is something I've never done. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. There will be a lot more cars in that class, so it would be a lot tougher class. So that'll make it challenging. And anyway, I'll quit gabbing here and go ahead and put those 4 runs up. When John posted them, they weren't in the exact order. He had one out of order, which is fine. I'm going to post them in the order of the race, and you'll hear my daughter. She gets all excited when I win. But I didn't leave there a loser, by no means. I was a winner all day long, and I was a winner all year, and I owe that to John. So I'm looking forward to next year, or this year now, 2025, and hopefully I can settle into some sanction somewhere where I can run for a championship again, because I would like to do that. You know, that's kind of in my goal. One of my goals is to actually get a championship. Now I'm looking at dabbling in Open Comp here in Michigan at Milan Dragway, but I also have another truck. It's actually my oldest boy's. It's a S10. I did race that a few times, and I might dabble with that a little bit more too. So, but all that'll come in the future on the channel. So, anyway, I hope you like what I've done so far, and there's so much more coming. I got a bunch of updates coming for this. They're in the mail on their way here, some new parts, and I'll certainly videotape all that and share that with you guys. And of course, getting the trans back in and all that stuff. And then I do a lot of racing, so I will, now that I've started the channel, I will do a lot more videoing and bring more content to the channel. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Please subscribe. I need 500 subscribers to race in Sikeston, Missouri at the No Name Nationals. I really want to race there because John Cope's bringing Haney, and Andy Wood hopefully is coming with Casper, and I plan on racing both of those boys. So once I confirm they're both coming, we'll do an official call out. All right. Thanks for watching. These 4 passes are right on the tail end here, and I'll check you all later.